Good morning. It's Saturday, July the 13th. It's about 7:30 in the morning. We're going to try to do our weekly inspection rather quickly because I've only got one hive on the other side that needs quite a bit of attention. So I'm going to try to get these done quickly and move on. You can see I've got the covers tilted back a little bit. It's been extremely hot, and this gives them a little more ventilation without giving them an upper access point. Just an experiment during these extremely hot days of at the end of July and maybe through August. I don't get much bearding anyway because I have screen bottom boards, but several other people have said that this helps to express some of the heat out of the top. So let's give them a little smoke. Let's see what's going on. Okay, we got a lot of bees, so that's good. I'm also trying another pair of special glasses in hopes that it will allow me to see eggs. Now, this top box is a honey super, 9 frames. They're building it out, but there's nothing in it, that frame anyway. Let's go over here. I already know that I've got plenty of room for them to put honey in it. See, that one's got nectar in it. They're not beginning to cap any of this. This is the top super. Now let's go ahead and pull this old frame because it looks it's quite full, completely full of nectar. It's built out quite well, but they're not capping it yet. And they may not. We've still got a month or so of the nectar flow. From what I've been told, that we should get into August. And from the way these girls have been producing, I set some frames, some old frames out yesterday that are cleaning up. And normally the bees would cover them up within about 20 minutes. They never touched them. So that means that they've got a nectar source and they don't care. So they're still out there. Maybe they'll find them today. All right, bottom honey super. Quite a bit of pulling out the frames. These girls really propolis everything heavily. We live near Craighead Forest, so they have a ready source of tree sap and stuff to make propolis. And they do quite well. All right, got several frames over here that are completely pulled out and lots of bees on them. We're going to try to pull one of them real quick. Take a look. a little capping going on, but well built out. The frame next to it is quite well capped, but not completely. So move it back out. Hopefully I didn't. The goal with 9 frames in each box instead of 10 is that they can build the frames out further and cap them without touching the adjoining frames. And it seems to work pretty good. As long as you maintain that distance on the frames, they will do a good job of not joining the frames together. But all right. Now this is a medium box, and if it were completely full, it would weigh 50 to 70 pounds. And it's still pretty light. All right. Now you can see we got a lot of bees. This could be my best hive, although on the other side, I got one that's doing more production. You see we've got captured a bunch of small hive beetles. That's what this little sweeper's for. Just move it over here for a minute. Unfortunately, it does capture some bees, but that's inevitable. This one, I just want to pull a couple of frames. Oh, I picked one that's completely full of honey. And the deep frame that's full of honey is over 10 pounds, and when you're picking it up with your fingertips, 10 pounds is a lot of weight. All right, there we are, full of honey, capped. Could harvest that if I had a machine to harvest it with, and we may pull a couple of frames when we do decide to harvest. And just spin out a couple of frames, but right now I'm just hoping to fill the honey supers, and pull them and leave the rest of this for the honeybees. See, there's the brood chamber already. Capped honey on that side. All right, so I'm gonna put on my new glasses. Now these I can't walk around at all with. It's very focused, has a LED light in it to to give me a light in the frames. That's awesome. They work great. I see very, very small larvae, which I haven't been able to do before. I'd like to get to where I can put this on camera. But I don't see any eggs. So I don't want to keep it out very long because you got to keep the brood at around 95 degrees, and it's only 76. That's why I'm out here at 7:30 in the morning. Because these suits are kind of hot. There's no wind. Humidity yesterday was in the high 70s. It won't be any better today. I love this frame. Look at that brood pattern. If all 4 of my boxes had that brood pattern, I wouldn't have to inspect but about once a month. There's larvae around the edge. Capped honey around the edge. Beautiful frames. And these glasses are working great. I'll show you a picture of them later. They are kind of heavy on the eyes, on the bridge and the nose. But if it allows me to be able to see eggs, I mean, just right now, just being able to see the larvae as clear as I can now, they're worth it. Put that in my pocket. All right, now we might get to see some eggs. We got a lot of open space where she's probably laying again. Yeah. Not seeing any eggs. These may have just recently hatched out. Yeah, I see one that's hatching out right now. So she's not on that frame. Carefully put these in, because this is definitely the brood area. This is where she's going to be here somewhere. I really want to see eggs, but I don't want to disturb these girls a whole lot. So I'm probably going to quit here in a minute and move on, because they're healthy. All right, here's an open frame. Little brood around the corners. Got some larvae around the edge. Oh, this whole frame is larvae. They're really, really tiny. These are like 1 or 2 day old larvae. Yeah, the other side's the same way. So it's awesome. She's doing a great job. I'm going to quit here. There's no doubt this hive is very strong, getting stronger. I don't want to keep bothering her. Just wanted to try out my new glasses, which I have to take off now so I can see to put everything back together. Because they are, if I've got the 4X magnifier lens in there, which I didn't look when I came out to see which one I had, but that's the one I had put in there before, so that's probably what's in there. So they are quite magnifying. Extremely good. They weren't very expensive. Seems like they were around 25 bucks. So it's worth it to be able to see. There's about 10 pounds of honey here. All right, so we got quite a large brood area. Didn't have to go all the way through it because I could see them. On 3 or 4 frames. So we already knew this hive was doing good, but you still need to inspect weekly. If it's doing extremely good like this one, you could go to every 2 weeks. Probably will on this one. The next check on this one probably be the first week of August, where I'll put in some Hop Guard. Nobody talks about Hop Guard 3 very much. I put it in last year. You can put it in on with the honey supers, but wherever you put them, you don't want to harvest the honey because it leaves a nasty taste in the honey. The bees will eat it, but you don't want to taste it. It's nasty. All right. That frame's not built out, so we're gonna drop the rest of these bees. Trying to give them a chance to get off the top of the box here. Probably do just like that. And then I'm gonna give them, I set the back on the edge of the box. That gives it a little more air up through the top. And we're ready to go. This is east side hive number 1. Okay, here we go, east side number 2. We got a feeder on top, which is nothing but an empty shell, and this board that allows you to put feeding jars on it. I'm not feeding it. I'm just using it to add a little ventilation. Keep them cool, best I can. All right, top honey super. Just put this on a week or 2 ago. And last week they were doing a decent job. They were working on it. Main goal is to make sure that because of their size, they're not going to fill it. They could, but not likely. I just don't want them to run out of room, which they were doing. So I put the honey super on there just to give them room, and they're barely building it out. It also helps, gives you more space for cooling, so. All right. And you can see by the Swiffer sheet on this one that we had quite a problem with hive beetles and didn't know it. I'm probably going to put in a new sheet, see how they're doing. Break these open. This is in the brood chamber, so we're just looking for brood and make sure they have resources. This was a new frame that we put in. It's got some nectar put up. It is fully built out, but not much going on. All right, another new frame they've got almost completely built out. All right. Big honey frame. I mean, they're building it out. Huge. Mostly capped. Even building a little comb across the bottom, which is normal. We don't. If they're happy, they're building, then that's the important part. We know that this is the first year for this hive, so everything they make is for them so that they survive the winter, and they're making it. Second frame, kind of like the first one. All nectar, capped honey. Some beautiful capped honey. Both sides of the frame are the same. It'd be nice to have some of this. I'm going to get ready to harvest. I may steal a frame, but that'd be about all, because they need about 40 pounds of honey to make it through the winter. Another completely built up, capped off, mostly capped on this side. I'm gonna say from the looks of it, they've been eating a little bit of that one because of the way the pattern is cut. Every cell's got nectar in it though. All right, so that was the fifth frame. The next frame is what I like to see, considering it's the middle of the box. It's where the brood is. Oh, there we go. And we have a perfect half circle of brood in the middle. Queen cups that we're not worried about as long as there's nobody home. Okay. Scan this up and put my new glasses on. Well, that's a brood area, but all the empty holes, they filled with nectar. Now this side is also brood. A lot of it's just newly capped. I'm just looking, got quite a bit of larvae nearing cap time, but not any. Yeah, they're backfilling this side with nectar, which is why I put on the honey super. To stop them from filling the brood chamber with nectar. Go a little bit further. All right. Lots of older brood, capped brood. Same on the other side. And there's lots of, unfortunately, again, there's a lot of nectar being put in the empty holes. On both sides. So they're beginning to backfill this with nectar. All right, I saw a lot of brood. There was a lot of larvae. She's doing good. This is one of my brand new hives from a nuke this spring. So they're doing good. They're doing real good. What I'm doing is the bottoms, when you slide them over, the bottoms tilt out. Then when you try to put the next frame in, there's not any room for it. So you got to kind of make them a little room. That's also why they make these frames tapered at the bottom. So when you push them down in there, they'll kind of slide in between the other frames. Then you come back on both outside edges, push the frames together towards the middle. Everything's nice and tight, evenly spaced, so your frames get built out smoothly and nobody gets upset. All right. I'm going to take a quick trip to the box where I have my sweeper sheets. All right, got a new sweeper sheet. Just lay it across in the middle like before. And then I put my box honey super back on the top. And my cover. And just like I said on East number 1, I could easily go 2 weeks without checking on these again. And we'll see. Because now that they are pretty stable, these have been stable, but I was trying to get some honey, and this being my first year, you don't expect to. And the best I could probably do here on this side, nothing out of this one, there's nothing there. I'd hate to even pull one frame, but probably could. Number 1 over here, they might still cap off the honey supers so I could get honey out of them. Otherwise, you know, 1 or 2 frames would be the most. And I've got one on the other side that's got probably an entire box of capped. So we'll just have to see. Right now, everything's good on this side. Got a bee that decided he didn't like me. So that's it for this side. Thanks for watching.